Okay, so we are live. Okay, so welcome everyone to today's informative yet interesting session. We hope you guys are also excited as we are to know about Google Summer of Code. We have Rahul with us for all the information that we need about GSoC or how to start it or how to select the organization and all the frequently asked questions. So let's just start with it. Hi Rahul.
Uh, Hello, Isha.
For those who don't know you, I would request you to just introduce yourself so that they know who you are and what you do.
So first of all, I would like to thank GFG Student Chapter RTU for inviting me for this show. And yeah, I'm Rahul Kenchi. I'm currently a developer advocate at Onboard Base, and I'm currently a junior. I'm pursuing a computer science engineering from Marwadi University, Rajkot. I did my Google Summer of Code in 2022 at the Textile organization, and I'm a DevOps enthusiast, a GitHub Campus expert, a beta level Microsoft Learn Student ambassador, and yeah, I'm a TDS lead too. So yeah, that was all about me.
That's great. Now let's just start with what even GSoC is.
Yeah, so if breaking down what GSoC is Google Summer of Code is a mentorship program conducted by Google every year for the students and developers. Everyone who is above 18 years of age can apply to Google Summer of Code, and it's a medium between open source projects and developers. So it connects developers and open source softwares, and it provides stipend to the developers or students to contribute to open source project. And the project can be of 3 months, 4 months. Like from last year, it has provided a flexibility of choosing how much month we can take a project. So yeah.
So before discussing about the prerequisites and how to apply for that, I would love to know what was your interest before applying and what you learned from that. Like, what was your overall experience from GSoC?
So I didn't know about Google Summer of Code in my freshman year. I just knew that there was a program about which offers. There are different programs like GitHub Campus Expert, Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program. So I thought that GSoC is also a same program like that for open source enthusiasts, right? But then I got to know that it also provides stipend, and it it helps students to learn more from the experienced developers. So I started contributing to open source in my freshman year, and I started in May 2021, and I got selected in May 2022. So it's a 1 year journey. I started with textile organization, and I stick to the same organization throughout the year, and then I got accepted in the textile organization. So I started with Java, and I was not knowing the OOPS concept too. I started with just Java basics, and then with time I got to know that like this organization have uh, don't want you to know everything, but they just want you to know something about everything, right? So I started with Java, and then I started learning simultaneously so I can contribute better. So it happened like I learned OOPS, and then I like moved into DevOps field, and then the project which I was a student in the Google School of Code was a mixture of DevOps and Java. So yeah.
Great. But in the case of open source, na, I think the knowledge what you can acquire or the knowledge that you can get from any company or working there, it totally depends on the developer or the person that is joining. Okay? So it depends ki how much you want to acquire. If you want to acquire, you can like acquire a lot of knowledge because you are working under SD3, SD4, so you are working with them, you are learning a lot from them. So it's all depends on your capability, how much you can grasp and how much you can get from them. ठीक है तो मूविंग फॉरवर्ड लेट्स अज्यूम कि someone is watching this stream ठीक है he is interested in GSoC he wants to apply to GSoC तो he must be thinking ना कि अरे गूगल का है ये तो प्रोग्राम क्या मैं एलिजिबल होऊंगा भी या फिर नहीं होऊंगा तो लेट्स जस्ट फर्स्ट टॉक अबाउट कि व्हाट आर द प्रीरिक्विजिट्स फॉर अप्लाइंग इन GSoC program. Rahul, you are muted.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. So I'll just tell that there are only three things which are a prerequisite for a beginner to start open source. Is that that person should know about Git and GitHub. The other thing is that person should know about a particular language, let's say Java, C++, Python, Go, anything. And the third thing is that person should know that what is open source. These are the only prerequisite that I can say, because I started contributing to open source with these three things only. And with my experience, I can say that if someone know Git and GitHub, a particular language, and about what open source is, then that person is ready to start contributing to open source.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But there is one thing कि whenever someone is beginner and he tries to contribute to open source, let's assume I'm a beginner. Okay, I know
Yeah.
Java. I try to contribute to open source. I just visit a repository. I open the code, and I'm just blasted with all the codes. And there are a lot of folders. I don't understand कि क्या structure क्या है, क्या कैसे किस चीज को maintain करना है. And in the larger repositories na, even if you want to change just a text, you first need to figure out कि क्या structure है, कैसे उसको किस चीज को change करने से क्या change होगा. तो how do you like give advice for someone just starting out कि uh, how to pick a repository and find out कि what to do, what not to do, and how to get a structure out of it, क्योंकि एक बार जब आपको बहुत सारे folders मिल जाते हैं तो it's kind of overwhelming.
So I'll just share my screen to show that how to
Yeah,
choose an organization and all this stuff, right? Yeah, please confirm that if you can see my screen.
yeah, not as of now.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it is visible now.
Okay, so as you can see that if I'll just search about GSoC, it is sorry, yeah. As you can see that if you'll just search about GSoC, the first thing you will get is the Google Sound of Code website. So yeah, if you'll just go to the 2023 program, and you can find that there are a lot of organizations who got selected. If you just want to see, you can click here and yeah, you can check out here, browse all 2023 organization. So if I am a beginner and I don't know which organization I should select, and I only know, let's say, Java, then I'll just search here Java, and I can find a lot of this organization. But let's say that still I'm facing an issue finding the organization. Then this is something else. This website is totally different from the original website, but it has more clarity on selecting an organization. For example, I am preparing myself for 2023 program, so I'll just filter out 2023, and then there are many options. For example, my technology is Java. Okay, and I'll select here, and then let's say that I am interested in learning web development, so I'll just search here web. So now you can see that this is very clear for me to select that which organization is of my interest. So XWiki is a organization where I can learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and this is Java based organization also. And this is taking part from 2016 to 2023. So it is consistent. So now selecting an organization is as easy as I have shared you. So you can select the organization with the help of this link, that is gsocorganization.dev. You can just go here and select the organization with your interest, and you can easily find which organization suits you. Now the second question which you told me that whenever we join the organization, we found a large code base. So how to understand that which code base is how to understand the code base, this large code base. So I contributed to check style, and like you all can see that there are a lot of files. So as a beginner, I do not need to know everything about all the files. I just need to focus on the issues, and I need to then figure out that which file I need to change. So I'll just show you that how to select a good first issue. So if you are in the issues part, you can just find label, and you can just search first. So if you'll just first use search first, you will find good first issues, right? Now one tip here is that now there are 5 issues and you don't know what to do. You have learned Java, but when you check this thing, now you found that these are totally related to Java, but you are still not able to figure out how to contribute in these issues. So always try to go for closed issues for reference, right? So here I can see that update doc for visibility modifier. This is one of the issue, and as you can see that it is a documentation issue, right? And if I'm going to the closed issue, I can find many documentation issue which are already closed. It means the approach will be the same, only difference will be the file, because I want to contribute for visibility modifier and the issue which is already closed, which is method length, right? So I'll just check that what this person has done in contributing to this issue, that he has solved this issue, right? So you can find all the information here, you can read the comments, and you will also find the pull request which has merged, which has been merged, right? For this particular issue. So if I'll just click here, and i'll I'll, like, in the file change option, you can check that which file has been changed, right? So now you can see that this person has changed method line check.java, and in the documentation, in the issue, it was written method line. So for example, if I'm contributing to visibility modifier, there will be a file visibility modifier in this total code base, right? So now it's easy for me to go to visibility modifier and check what I need to change. So you don't need to like clone this repository to totally understand where you need to like do the changes. You can just go to file, and you can here search, like if it is written visibility modifier, I just click visibility modifier, and you can see that there's a file visibility modifier check.java. Now I will be, my concern will be totally related to this file, not the whole code base. Now it's easy to, for me to check that, okay, there are a lot of folders, but my concern will be totally with this file visibility modifier check.java. Now as you can see that this person has written some examples for method and check, right? So what you need to do is you need to check the documentation here. This person has provided a documentation that what visibility modifier is. So you have to read all this stuff. You need to check the properties, and you need to make the examples of these properties, right? And you can see some examples here. So you just need to prepare a documentation for a visibility modifier, and you can take a reference from the closed issues, that is method length, with the help of go to files and just searching about the file name. And now you can see all the changes here. So you need to take your time, you need to investigate that which file needs to be changed, and then you need to check that what other people have done changes in the closed issues, and similar way you have to contribute to the new issues. So I believe this was helpful.
Yeah, that was pretty nice demonstration, I must say, and the site was very useful. I would actually request you to share it with our viewers so that they can also take advantage of that site.
Yeah,
Okay.
surely I'll share it. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Uh, okay, so the next thing which I want to ask you is ki whenever you are applying to any competition or applying to anything, like there are some tips and tricks, ठीक है? तो
Yeah.
as you are being a guy जिसने उस चीज को क्रैक कर लिया, ठीक है? We would love to know
Yes.
कि are there some hacks or like tips and tricks which you can follow to get into GSoC easily, like get an advantage over other people?
Yeah. So the thing is, many people who just start contributing to open source, the thing like it's just a matter of writing codes. But you have to understand. Before that, Vishwa, I have shared the link with you. I don't have the access to comment, so you can just share the link from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
private chat. Yeah. So
ठीक, we'll
I
done.
would like to tell that beginners think like, for example, if there are 100 people contributing to particular organization, and if 100 people think that I will write a code and I will impress the mentor and they will select me, then they are wrong. The most important thing in open source projects is that they don't only want you to just write code, they want you to write quality code, and they want you to do the help to other people. For example, if there are new contributors after you who are coming to organization and they are asking for code reviews, they're asking for help, then you must help them, you must review their code. The open source contributor is not only the one person who is writing code, but he or she also should know that how to review the code of others. For example, beginners are contributing, then without like without waiting for the mentor to review others code, we can also review others code because it is open sourced, right? So I would tell beginners, the tips is that start reviewing the code of other people also. And the first thing is write the quality code, and believe in quality than quantity. If you feel like I have done the good first issue, then jump to increasing the quality of the issue. Don't just do 10 issues in like of good first issue only. You should like improve the quality, and you should increase from first issue, second issue, third issue, then easy, medium, hard, then solving a bug, adding a feature. That is only the way to get selected in Google Summer of Code. If you'll just solve same issues again and again, no one will care, because they will think that you are here just to do the same stuff every time. But if you are someone who are believing in quality, and you are helping other contributors, you are reviewing the code of others, you are also sharing your tips in the chats, like you can find many community channels of organization, let's say Gitter, Slack, or Twitter. So try to engage yourself in those things, right? Let's say you have written the code and now you are free, so try to create a Twitter thread about what did you learn, so that you can make more people get interested into your organization, and the mentor will see that this person is not here to get selected, but not only get selected, but this person is also interested in helping us to grow, right? So they will select that person who is also helping the open source project to grow, and to let more people know about this particular organization, that how they can contribute. So I'll just request you that try to figure out that how you can help the organization, and how you can stick to the organization even after the GSoC period ends, right? Because it's all a matter of collaboration instead of competition. So try to do collaboration instead of competition. If you feel like someone else is also contributing, and that person is also preparing for Google Summer of Code, then don't compete with that person. Just try to collaborate with that person, and try to make more conversation in public, so that others can also see. If you'll just text other contributors that how to solve this issue, and how, if you'll just help other people, so try to help in the public channels of the community or the organization. This will help mentors to see that you are actually helping others, right? If you'll just help in the private channels, no one will know that what help you are actually doing. So I'll just tell that do the help in the public, so that more people can take the benefit of it. So yeah.
Great. As we have been talking about beginners a lot, so let's assume that someone is a beginner and want to start contributing and want to get into any organization, ठीक है? तो there must be a time period ना कि इतने दिन पहले से ही आपको prepare करना start कर देना चाहिए. मतलब there is no such fixed thing, but there are some time limits कि organizations also prefer people who apply early and who keep contributing to their repository from even before the GSoC period. And I've also seen key organizations prefer those people who are willing to contribute even after the GSoC period ends. ठीक है, तो what are your suggestions on someone trying to contribute to GSoC organizations? When should he start typically?
To be honest, I have met people who just joined the organization before 19 days and got selected in 19 days. I have also met people who just joined 2 weeks before and got selected, and I have also met people who have joined 2 years back to the organization, and they got selected. So the thing is, yes, if you are staying with the organization from a long back time, there are chances that you get selected. But the thing is, it's not there is not a particular time that how long you should be. But the thing is, if you are doing a quality contribution, if you are helping your contributors, if you are staying connected with your mentors, you are doing regular conversation with your mentors, and if you are being active in the organization, that's the thing which matters to do the Google Summer of Code. But I would tell that the general time of like people generally start in the time of January, February, because March time they have to March and April are the time they have to submit the application. But I would say that you should, in India, if you're like starting with it, start from Hacktoberfest, because that's the best place to start with. So let's say that Hacktoberfest is happening in October. So choose an organization in October, and from October to March start contributing. So you will have 5 to 6 months in your hand to understand the code base, to learn, to connect with the mentors, to create engagement in the organization. And also it's a very long time, like 6 months. So I believe that you should start from Hacktoberfest, and in April, if you are doing the proposal thing, you might get selected in May. But in general, there is no particular time when you should start. I would just tell you that start from today only. So yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't apply. वो वाला thing कि early is the better nine.
Yeah.
Actually, they prefer quality over the early people.
Yeah.
That is actually true. Okay, so whenever you have to apply for any organization, you have to prepare a
Hmm.
proposal for that, right? So what do you want to
Yeah.
do? There are a lot of ideas which they already provide you, and there are some ideas which you can propose from your side even though they are not in their list, so they may actually accept that too. So what are your advice on preparing any proposal? So I know ki, the templates vary from organization to organization, but what are your advice for generally advice for preparing any proposal?
Hmm. Okay, so first of all, let's just discuss what is proposal, right? So proposal is something. For example, you have selected an organization, and now that organization is, let's say your organization is a website, like focuses on web development, and then now need to add a chatbot as a feature in their upcoming summer, right? So they will create a project as a chatbot, and they will put it in the wiki or documentation, and they will tell contributors to create a proposal on how to create a chatbot in that particular organization, right? So now what we as a contributor will do is, for example, there are 10 people who want to apply for Google Summer of Code. So with 10 people, we'll create a proposal from our side that how we will start, what we will do, what will be our timeline, in which week, what work we will do to create the chatbot in those 3 months, right? And then the mentor will review all the 10 proposals, and that the proposal should not be 100% correct. It should only make sense that yes, you have written how to create a chatbot, right? So you have to explain everything about how to create a chatbot, what will be the integrations done, which tools you will use, and how many time you want the code to be reviewed, what time zone you will be contributing to, and which day you want off for, and all that stuff, right? So the thing is, then after you have created the proposal, mentor will see all the 10 proposals, and they will finalize the proposal which totally makes sense of how they will contribute. But also, it doesn't mean that if you are not contributing to the organization, and if you have just created the proposal, there are chances that your proposal will get rejected, even if it is the best proposal, because they want someone who has been there in the organization, who already know how the code works, how the documentation works in that particular organization. So you should stick to the organization at least 1 month prior to the Google Summer of Code, so that you can contribute and you can make trust with your mentors that you are familiar with the code base, right? And after that, you can create a proposal. So for the proposal, I can show my proposal of Google Summer of Code. So, but it's not good. But yeah, you can see. I'm already presenting the screen. Vishwa, can you please give me the access? Okay.
Yeah, you are presenting
Uh,
screen. Okay, one
so can
thing,
you see my
just
screen?
I wanna
Yeah.
I wanna say in the between, you are saying ki, your proposal is not that good. That is actually not true. You have been selected to GSoC, so obviously it was
No,
good. So that is the
you
reason
know
why
the
you got
thing.
selected.
The thing is, there are people who have created the proposal of 25 pages, 30 pages, and added
Hmm.
colors to it, and they have made more creative. But mine is something which is
Hmm.
totally black and white, 6 pages, totally like stick to the points. So yeah. So
That to
yeah,
we
let me
see
just
also
share.
in the resume wala thing na ki, even if you
Yeah.
create lot of color based resume, recruiters still prefer ki black and white wala resume and simple sleek.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So yeah,
please share your proposal.
yeah. Okay, so this is my proposal. So I have just written
Hmm.
about me at the starting, and then about my education and also my expected graduation. Then I have shared my relative experience. Like for example, I was talking about chatbot. Then you have to tell that what is your relative experience with the with web development, chatbot, integrations, and all this stuff, right? Then you have to tell that what you have done in the particular organization. For example, I have solved GSoC first issue, second issue, third issue, EC, new features, Google style, bug, and miscellaneous. So these are the labels which I have solved, and I have also shared one link here. So the mentors can just click and see that what are the contributions that I have done, right? And then there is the project, so the project name, the project description, link, and then I have to create a restatement that what I have understood from the above project, right? So after doing this, I have to outline that what I have understood, and like what are my suggestions, which tool we can use. And then about the timeline, these are all the about the timeline, that before Google Summer of Code I will do this thing, after that in which month I'll do what, and all this stuff, right? And also more information about me, like about my community work, about my open source contributions, and about my working time zone, that in which time zone I'll work, so that it will be better for the developers to know that okay, if I'm working in this time zone, then they have to be active in this time zone. And then my reason for participation, that why I want to participate in Google Summer of Code, right? And also you can see that there are some comments here. So before sending the proposal to Google Summer of Code platform, send this proposal to your mentors. They will also help you to make this proposal look good and more like quality, right? So you can see that they have given me some uh, changes, improvement, that how you can do this, how you can do this. So I have changed, right? So that was about the proposal. Always share your proposal to your mentors before you send it to the Google Summer of Code platform, so that you can make it a more qualitative proposal with the help of your mentors too, and also mentors can see that what you have done the changes. So yeah.
Yeah, and talking about the time frame, like work zone and all,
Yeah.
we know that it is not like a typical internship or a full-time job. So, what are the time requirements for someone applying for GSoC?
Okay, so for example, my organization told me that if I'm working from Monday to Saturday, how much hour I will work. So I just told them 3 hours per 3 to 4 hours, and in weekends, if I'm taking any leave, I'll work for 5 to 6 hours, right? So the thing is, I knew that my mentor was from California, and they were generally active in the morning time and in the evening time. So I used to be active in that particular time only. Now it's not, it's totally depends on you when you want to work, but try to work in those time zones when your mentor is also like online, because the thing will happen is you are waiting for your mentor to review the code, and the next day you are doing the changes again, so it will create a gap between you and your mentor. So try to do the changes, and when your mentor be online, they will just review the code. So try to minimize the time between you and your mentor, and it's totally depends on you which how many working hours do you want to do the Google Store of Code. But I would expect that you are writing at least 3 hours a day, because that is something which should be done. So, and you can give more time uh, in your weekends if you are free, but this is not necessary. And also this is flexible, like I took a leave of 7 days because I was in my native place and there was no internet. So my mentor gave me like holiday for 7 days, so I didn't contribute to Google Summer of Code in those 7 days, and after 7 days I started again. So it's very flexible, it's totally depends on you. But the thing is, you should have a clear communication with your mentor about your working hours, about everything.
Yeah, I also feel that mentor plays a great role in
Yeah.
learning or acquiring any knowledge. So, if you are able to acquire any knowledge in like 1 to 2 years, you can do it in even 6 months, because you have proper guidance on what to
Yeah.
do, what not to do, and everything like that. And whenever you work in team, it is like kind of frustrating ki you raise a PR and you wait for like 1 day or 2 day just for PR being merged. If it gets merged, it's very good. Like it is getting merged, it's
Yeah.
very good. But if you wait for like 1 day and after that you find ki there are some comments on that ki you have to read that and you are like shit, we have to do it again and we have to fix that issues. Okay, fine. So
And
that
also
was.
also
Hmm,
like it also gives a global exposure to work with different
hmm.
developers from all around the world. So you might feel that if you are like after your 4 years you are working in an Indian in India, if you're working in any company, you won't get a chance to work with the developers outside. So I believe that as a student it's very early if you are working with software developers all around the world, so you will get to know that what is the quality of code that Indians write, other people write, so that you will get a clarity of how to be a clean code enthusiast.
Yeah. Also, I was just coming to that point, ki what are the advantages and all. So, if someone is trying to get into GSoC, he must be thinking कि भाई मेरा क्या फायदा, इससे मुझे क्या मिल रहा है ना. तो वो वाली चीज तो रहती है हर जगह. तो I would love if you can share the stipend वाला structure. It has been changed in past few years, and they also like agree to add person who are not in the college. Also, but whatever you know about this stipend, please just share with all the people so that they get some kind of motivation just to join the GSOC. Yeah.
So the thing is, many people in the YouTube tells that stipend doesn't matter, and like it's focus on the mentorship. So yeah, the thing is, you should focus on your mentorship, but also stipend matters. Like as a student, because at the early stage, if you are getting a stipend, you can use it on your certification. You can use it in taking some good courses. You can also use it to travel. You can use it to attend conferences. So yeah, stipend do matters in my opinion. So for the medium projects, the stipend is $1,500, and for the large projects, the stipend is $3,000. So in India, it generally is like 1.15 lakhs as a 1,500, and for 3,000, it's just 2.30 lakhs. So it's huge money for Indian people. So yeah, the first advantage is you get a stipend as a student or as a developer now. Like the rules of GSoC has changed now. Before it was only students who can apply, but now anyone who is above 18 can apply, be it a student, developer, educator, anyone. It's just a matter of skills. If you know skills, you can apply, right? The second thing is you get a global exposure working with different developers from all around the world. And the third thing is you can manage your time with your college studies, your learning, and your like mentorship, the Google Summer of Code, because you just have to give 3 hours. And if you are doing it every day, so you will be learning a lot of things. Because I just knew about Java and DevOps at the start, but when I contributed to textile, I learned a lot about how to be a clean code enthusiast, how to work on Java grammar, what is continuous integration, shell scripting, Maven, and a lot of tools. So like many organization uses a different tool for unit testing, all this stuff. So you get a clarity from scratch that how it works, how the production works, the continuous life cycle of software development. So you get a more clarity that how you can collaborate with other software developers, right? The fourth thing is uh, you get a lot of public speaking opportunities. Like to be honest, I did my Google Summer of Code, and after that I got a lot of opportunities to speak and to help developers, students, and how they can get started. So I'll just tell you all that if you're learning, or if you're doing Google Summer of Code, or if you are in the phase of contributing to open source, just do one thing: share everything on your socials and learn in public. It will help others to know that what you are learning. You will be in the spotlight of the recruiters, and you can also get an internship about sharing your learnings in public. Believe me, like if you are doing it on Twitter and LinkedIn, it creates a large impact on the developers, that what you are sharing what you are contributing on, what you are currently doing, right? So, and also always share the link of what you are doing, so that they can, anyone who want to see your work, they can see the proof of work that you are doing. So yeah, these are the benefits. I don't believe there is a disadvantage. So yeah.
Yeah, so that thing to what you said, ki, mentorship is great, but stipend also matters. I also
Also
agree with that,
matters, yeah.
and yeah, so I also highly disagree with the argument कि free we should do free work and in the starting and all. नहीं, मतलब I don't feel any like output of doing free work. तो जो काम कराने वाला है वो भी यही सोच करा रहा है कि ये तो फ्री में कर रहा, और कर रहा है वो भी काइंड ऑफ लेस मोटिवेशन के साथ वर्क करता है कि इससे कुछ आउटपुट तो आने वाला है नहीं. तो वो एक चीज होती है. ठीक है, तो
Yeah.
मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, आई नो दिस इज अ
Before that,
क्लीशे क्वेश्चन
I
टू
just wanted
आस्क.
to add, I just wanted to add one more point, that if you are looking for internship and if you are getting an unpaid internship, तो उसकी जगह do open source, because in unpaid internship you will mostly, you will not find that mentorship level that you can find in open source. So if you're not even getting selected in Google Summer of Code, try to contribute in open source, because your open source profiles matters a lot than what unpaid internships provides you. So unpaid internship तो कभी मत करो, go for paid internship. But if you're not getting a paid internship, go for open source contributions. Yeah.
Yeah, I highly agree with you कि never go for any paid unpaid
Unpaid.
internship. Okay, so moving forward, I was saying कि I know this is a cliche question to ask, but many people think कि do we need to have competitive programming skills and all for applying in GSoC? So what are your views on that?
No, like the question is really great, because many people on my DM also ask me that, is DSA required, is Codeforce's profile is required for the Google Mode of Code. So the thing is, if you're good at competitive programming DSA, like it will help you to contribute to open source, but these are not required. These are optional. If you don't, if you like, even I'm not a competitive programmer and I don't have a account on Codeforce's Codechef, but it doesn't mean like that you can't contribute to open source, because it has a lot of varieties of technology that you can contribute in. For example, let's say that you are a very, you are a very good problem solver and you know a lot of about like advanced DSA and things like that. So you try to contribute in compiler designing, try to contribute in the programming language itself, like Java, Python is also open source project only. So you can contribute in Python if you know if you know very well about the programming languages, right? And also like textile, open food facts, and there are many organizations which has DSA. So DSA is important, but competitive profiles are not important, and like no one generally ask you for that in the open source. It's just that if you know it, it is good to go, but it is not mandatory to start open source contribution, and it's not mandatory to get selected also. It's not like if we two friends are there and we both have contributed better, but if that person has competitive profile, then he will get selected. The only thing matters is quality contribution and how much you are sticking to the particular organization, how effectively you are communicating with your mentors. These are only things that are required.
Yeah, and I also think CP is not like competitive programming is also becoming like a rat race in our country at least, like JEE and NEET. So everyone is like opening a channel teaching ki how you can crack DSA, how you can solve the seat and everything like that. And companies
Yeah.
are kind of understanding this fact ki this is becoming a typical rat race. And when people are applying for that, they have solved a typical number of questions. They know ki what they are gonna ask and everything. So companies are also gonna highly weigh the open source contribution, and they are also kind of preferring the open source contributions
Yeah.
over normal DSA.
you
Wala.
know yeah
Because
like when I was applying for like companies, developer advocate roles and software engineering, they were asking for my open source profile. They were asking that if you like, they told about the job responsibilities, and then at the bonus place it was written that bonus is if you are an open source contributor, please share your link, please share your open source issues, and they are asking about my profile of open source, right? So I believe that I have never faced like this issue where they are asking me about my competitive profiles, but yes, they are asking about my open source profile. So because of my Google Summer of Code and other open source contributions, it has helped me a lot to gain those opportunities. So yeah, it will like ask you for the open source profiles companies.
Yeah, I am also open source enthusiast and always suggest people ki you should start working on open source contributions more and more, because in that way you are actually now when you are doing competitive programming you are solving some sort of problems, take care. But whenever you get into any company you have to build a product for them, you have to help them out, take care. And after that you will get exposed to the languages that they use and all. But if
Yeah.
you are doing open source now, you are directly contributing to something which is already in the production, okay? People are going to use the code that you have written.
Yes.
If you are contributing to VLC or Vue or Next or anything, any repository, people are going to use what you have written. So you get a great amount of confidence ki yes, I can code in the production level too, okay? And the mentorship wala part is तो always there for that. Moving forward, let's assume कि किसी ने GSoC में apply किया. There are obviously number of seats limited to that, so
Yeah.
everyone cannot get accepted to that. So are there any alternatives for GSoC? I'm just not familiar
Yeah,
to list them, not as of now, but if you remember any of them.
okay, so there are a lot of open source programs other than GSoC, and you know the in India it is the hype of Google that the whenever the name Google comes, people think like this is the best program, but it is not like that. There are programs which are more better and more structured than Google Summer of Code, that is MLH, Major League Hacking, and then there is LFX Linux mentorship Linux Foundation program. So there are more like outreach mentorship program which totally focus on helping underrepresented and underrepresented people who want to contribute to open source. So there are, and now GitHub has also launched GitHub Octantship program where you can contribute not only 3 months, but you can stick with the organization for 6 months, and also you can get PPO after like contributing. So GitHub Octantship is also a great place if you want to just start with open source contributions. So there are very options for you, and it's not like they also ask you to contribute beforehand. Let's say for the taking an example of MLH and LFX mentorship program, they will not ask you for your like if you are contributing to this particular organization, they you just have to submit some essays, your resume, and you have to fill a form, and then you generally have a technical interview, then HR interview, and you get selected, right? So MLH is an like internship alternative, and LFX mentorship program is totally a mentorship program for 3 months. And if you are someone into who is interested into DevOps and Kubernetes, then you should go for LFX mentorship program. But if you are someone who is interested in Web3 track, software engineering, production engineering, and production track, so MLH offers a lot of different tracks, so you can just check out that thing. But if what makes GSoC different is it has a variety of different projects. So you will get a lot of projects on Web3, Android development, web development. So that's why GSoC hype is very high in India, because it offers a lot of variety of technologies and people can find it easily, and people can like check out the program very easily. But the only thing is the first step, that how to contribute. First, if you have just contributed the first issue, then it will be very easy for you. But the only hard thing is the first step, that how to choose an organization, how to understand the code base, and how to contribute as a first time. But if you'll do all three steps together, the fourth step will be very easier for you.
Yeah, so you talked about the writing essays and all, and even when you apply for Outreach or MLH or GSoC or any program like that, or even if you are applying for any company, so you have to write a essay for that, and they judge on the basis of that. So this is kind of personal question, but me being a lazy guy who don't like to write a lot of essays, so what are your suggestions on that? Like how someone if he is not interested from very beginning in technical writing and all and finds himself lazy in writing all these things, how can he start from that? I know ki chat gpt is an option for writing those content, but that is something which will not be as great as when someone personally write that thing. So what are your suggestions on technical
Yeah.
writing, how important it is
Uh,
actually?
so the thing is, you don't have to be a technical writer to write the essays. The first thing, if you are using tools like Grammarly, WordTune, the rephrasing tools, it's good to use that. You just have to write. They are not seeing your essays as a technical writer, but they just want to know that who you are as a person, what you have done, what you have contributed in, what was your previous experience. So just write all these things together in a Grammarly or WordTune, any rephrasing tool, and just rephrase all the sentences together and then submit. Right? They are not looking for someone who is professional in writing essays. So it's not a matter of how good you are in writing, but coming to technical writing, yes, it's a like not about the open source program, but technical writing itself is a great thing. If you are a technical writer and if you want to be a technical writer, you can just use any platform like Hashnote, dev.to community, and write about your stuff. For example, if you have contributed to open source, you can just write a blog or an article on a Hashnote or dev.to that how you have contributed and how beginner can contribute to that particular organization. So yeah, technical writing helps, but for the particular essay thing, it's not that they are seeking for someone who is very professional in writing essays, but they just want someone who can showcase that what they have done in a better way. So I believe that the only issue which we face is the English. So you can use any refreshing tool, and that can help you to like make proper English and proper professional sentences.
Yeah, and as we have planned to do AMA, ask me anything. Actually, people have asked few questions, and I guess most of
Okay.
them are already being covered by us. But there are some questions remaining, so I will just
Okay.
ask you. For example, Dia is asking, I would like to know about the UI/UX designing projects at GSoC. So, what are your take on that?
There are a lot of for UI UX designing, like for example, taking GNOME. GNOME is a UI UX design, like it has a UX designing program, and I'll just recommend her to watch this link, this video. Like I have a community called Decode Cafe where we have done the conversation with 12 plus GSOCers from different field. So she can see that like as of her interest, she can see which video like no for she has asked for the UI UX designing, right? So I can also provide the UI UX
Yeah,
designing podcast to her so that she can see uh,
yeah, that
the
would be great. Yeah.
so this link, the last link, this link is something where I had a chat with Pooja Patel. She was a Google Scholar of Code student in 2022 at GNOME, and she is a UX designer, and she has contributed in the designing field only. So you can just check out these, and you can also start contributing to GNOME, GNOME.
Great. Pushkar is actually asking your suggestion on some Discord or community groups to interact with people who previously cleared GSoC, or even if people are preparing for GSoC, so they create Discord group and they start discussing what we have to do next, what are the timelines, and also, do you have any specific recommendation for joining any groups? I know you also run Decode Cafe, and there must be a lot of people in Decode Cafe join to Decode Cafe
Yeah.
that are interested in doing that. They must be uh, applying for GSoC and all. So you can also share your community link here so that people can join that, and others,
Okay.
if you
And
can.
yeah,
Yeah,
like you all might already know Kunal Kushwaha, right? He is already
yeah, yeah.
like providing a lot of open source contribution, like videos and things like that. So you can surely join vmake devs community. And also like there are communities like seditives coders by one of my friend Dheeraj Chauhan. He is also very enthusiastic, and he is helping folks to learn about open source, Android development, blockchain, and many other technologies. So you can join communities like Seritas Coders, VMake Devs, Eddie Jordis, Eddie Hub. So there are a lot of community, and if you also would like to join my community, you can just go to this link and join my community. you will find a lot of open source communities. It's just that select an organization first, and you will find links in the organization only about the particular organization. But if you just want a general communities for open source discussion, then you can join Certus Coders, Vimactives, Decode Cafe, and there are a lot more.
Yeah, that is why I asked, Nikki. There are a lot of communities to join, but
Yes.
there are very few communities who can actually help you out. So, yeah, these communities are kind of very helpful at time, but there are also some communities now which are just for GSoC only. Yeah, yeah, you can share later those things. But if we talk about the idea and Kunal Kushwaha thing, which are previously community classroom. Okay, so I was also part of community classroom from very beginning.
Yeah.
So we have jointly created that thing. But the community classroom or Discord, it is not focused on GSoC. And if even if you join the Discord community, you will have to figure it out where you have to ask things, and you will hardly find people with same interest. Okay, क्योंकि if you have a Discord community which is full of only people, or the channel or any channel existing in that community which is filled with only people who are interested in GSoC, that would be great. I also know that you cannot have the names on your mind as of now, but if you have any name in the future, you can just share it, right? So yeah, moving forward, I would love to know the last piece of advice for generally everyone watching you, not just for developers, not just for the viewers or someone applying for GSoC. If you have any life advice, okay, like pravachan wala thing also will work. So if you have any kind of advice, you can give everyone.
So like the question how to start contribution, how to start open source as a beginner is, just don't go for many YouTube videos, right? Just look at one YouTube video about how to contribute to open source, and then just start the execution. Because the thing is, हम लोग जो होते हैं ना, we just get involved in that loop, that we will watch many videos on how to start contributing, but we never contribute. We never try to contribute. So I'll just tell that instead of watching a lot of video, just watch one video and then start contributing to open source by selecting an organization. Don't go for any motivation that someone will come and motivate you, but try to stay consistent. Bring out the time. Don't complain that I have 75% attendance. Don't complain that I am not getting time, but try to give time to open source, and then only you will achieve these things. The only thing which is required is consistency. Try to be consistent throughout the day, and try to manage time so that you can manage time with your college and open source also. So if you just want to start open source, choose an organization, start by introducing yourself, and then go to the open source, or go to the open issues and look for a good first issue, and then investigate that how you can do that. So I can only say this thing because there are people who will listen to this podcast today, and then also they will join the other another podcast tomorrow, and they will ask the same question, that how to contribute to open source. So I'll just tell that stop this loop and then start executing these things, that how to contribute.
Hmm. So, we have heard the tutorial loop wala thing, but now, the last question that I was asking you, if you have any advice, generally advice for anyone, not for developers only, not for programmers only, any life advice, what you have experienced in these
Yeah.
past years.
Yeah. I can share from my opinion that generally speaking about any developer student, just try to share anything which you are learning in public, because it will help you a lot. I'm not bragging about myself, but I'm earning with the technical writing too. I'm earning with doing the promotion on my LinkedIn post and Twitter post. I'm earning by just sharing things on, like writing a blog about a particular product of any company. And I'm also a developer advocate intern, which I got with the help of my open source contributions and my technical writing only. So I'll just tell that don't just sit and look for motivation, any source of motivation. try to engage in a lot of activities, like not just coding, but be a technical writer, join events, do public speaking, apply for CFP. If you're not getting a chance to speak at the event, try to join the event and then connect with the speaker, right? So I'll just tell that be active in tech. That doesn't mean that writing codes, but being active in tech is how you are engaging with the community, how you are helping the people, how you are being extraordinary from other people, like writing a blog, doing a freelancing thing, also attending a 75% attendance in the college. And believe me, if you are getting time in the college, we generally believe that we use the time of college in learning things. But I write blogs in the middle of the lectures. I believe my professor is not watching this podcast. So yeah, I just sit at the back and I write the blogs because I get time. I use chat gpt, I use refreshing tools to improvise my blogging things, right? So you can use a lot of tools, you have everything at your hand, but the only thing is you're not executing things. So my only advice is, don't go for motivation, just start executing things and you'll see the results in the upcoming time.
Yeah. So we have one more question. Yes, it works for me. I have done my first contribution in JWOC same day, some day ago. Any tips on how to contribute more in a contest? Okay.
See, I already told you that I have already answered this question, but people will still ask. Yeah, so this is the loop. This is a tutorial loop that people
Hmm. I
generally
agree.
don't understand. So the thing is, Babun, you can start contributing to open source. You can start contributing more in contest by starting contribution, right? By going to the organization, selecting an organization, introducing yourself to your mentors, and then looking for good first issue, checking close issue, and then contributing to the issue by investigation and reading the documentation. This is the only advice I can give you.
Yeah. Okay. So Arpan is saying thank you, Rahul Bhai. This session was really helpful. Yeah. Okay. So we expected this session to be informative yet interesting, as and it was indeed. I hope we have covered all the frequently asked questions and all the questions that people have in their mind watching this session. And now they are clear about GSoC and how to apply to that. So as the time is running out, let's just wrap it out. Thank you so much, Rahul, for taking time out from your schedule and joining us. It was great talking to you. ठीक है तो बाय
Thank you
ठीक
so
है
much, Vishwa and Bharti, for having me in the show. And I would like to thank GFG Student Chapter RTU for inviting me to speak about Go Summer of Code. Looking forward for more collaborations together. And yeah,
या
bye.
डेफिनेटली बाय बाय